Hey everybody, this is Rex Bear with Leak Project. What you are looking at is the Serpent Mound in Ohio. This is absolutely incredible. At first, this was thought to be just a few thousand years old, dating to the Adena culture. It's a Native American culture that dates back about 1000 BC to 1 AD approximately. And new revelations and discoveries point to this could be as old or older than Aristotle. I mean, we're talking 5,000 plus years old. And if you go back to that point, approximately 5,000 years ago, you'll see that this lines up quite well with the Draco star constellation. We're very fortunate to have Jason with us from Disclosure Media, and he has a really cool YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed already, check out the Disclosure Media YouTube channel. This is high definition, 4K quality drone footage, exclusive, that Jason got for us out there in the Serpent Mounds. So nothing short of extraordinary. Jason, how are you doing?
Hey Rex, how's it going? Thanks for having me back on the program.
Absolutely. Thanks for getting this footage for us. What talk us through this?
Well, you had mentioned the Serpent Mound to me. I live in the Ohio area, so I've heard about it for years, but I never got a chance to actually go out and visit the place. And you said, hey, go out there and check that place out if you ever get a chance. And I just happened to be coming right through that area this last week, so I went ahead and stopped and took the drone out and got some pretty awesome footage here. Pretty novice here on the information of the Serpent Mound, so I know you've done a lot more research than I've got to do just yet. And it's from what I've read so far, it's a very interesting effigy we have here.
It is, and I'm going to let you just play this for a minute. What I'll do is just give another description. It is approximately 1,348 feet in length, or 411 meters. It has a 3-foot high prehistoric effigy mound on a plateau of the Serpent Mound crater. And it's along the Ohio Brush Creek in Adams County, Ohio. It's maintained within a park by the Ohio History Connection. And researchers have attributed construction of the mound to 3 different prehistoric indigenous cultures. So, like I said, it was originally thought to be the Adena culture, yet the research that's been done has pointed to the possibility of they were actually the ones that rebuilt it and restored it, and it was put together far before that. As a matter of fact, let me just give you a quick description here. So the astronomical significance: in 1987, Clark and Marjorie Hardman published their finding that the oval to head area of the serpent is aligned to the summer solstice sunset, and William Romaine has suggested an array of lunar alignments based on the curves in the effigy's body. Fletcher and Cameron argued convincingly for the Serpent Mound's coils being aligned to the 2 solstice and 2 equinox events each year. If the Serpent Mound were designed to site both solar and lunar arrays, it would be significant as the consolidation of astronomical knowledge into a single symbol. So this is fascinating. And also, if you can see here that almost it looks like a head, almost like literally it's not a circle, but it's circular.
It's oval.
Yeah, it's oval. So
And it's hollow in the center. It's not a. It's got that Caucasian in the middle there, and some say it's an egg. Some say it's a frog. So there's a lot of skepticism of what it actually really is. And another curious factor about this area, right where that snake is pointing at the head, is right at the lip of a crater, a 4-mile wide crater. Now, you've confirmed that they now say it was from a meteor, but there were some other scientists, maybe this was in earlier days, that thought maybe something underneath the earth, maybe a volcano or something from underneath actually caused the crater. But you said now that maybe it was a meteor.
Well, let me read this to you real quick. And the mound is located on the site of a clastic astroblum, an ancient meteorite impact structure. One of the strongest clues to the impact origin of this structure is in the pattern of disruption of the sedimentary strata. In the center of the structure, strata have been uplifted several hundred feet in much the same way that the central uplifts of lunar craters were formed. In 2003, geologists from Ohio State Government and the University of Glasgow, Scotland, corroborated the meteorite impact origin of the structure of the Serpent Mound. So, let's go back 5,000 years, and let's say this was put together at least 5,000 years ago. That completely changes the history of America. Now, I've been to Chaco Canyon, which is incredible. It's a kind of like the capital of many of these Native American cultures several hundred years ago. It's in New Mexico. I definitely recommend checking it out. But would you do us a favor, Jason, and just play this? Like, just hit the play button, and I'm going to be silent for a minute, and I want to watch this.
It's a beautiful thing to see. I'd never been to it, and to actually see it a bird's eye view, it's amazing.
What's the closest city?
Let's see, the closest city. Oh gosh, I should know. I was just there. Gosh, Wimbledon, I think, is the closest city. The closest major city, I would say. It's out in the middle of nowhere, to be honest with you. I was coming back from the Hocking Hills area and came through there, and it's just right on the edge of the Appalachian Mountain area, so it's right there in that area too. So it's a beautiful area.
Okay. And is it still playing, or did you hit pause?
Playing now. Making a turn now. This is another good shot of it coming up. It's pretty good.
Yeah, this is great. It's funny because there's that watchtower right there, and you're a couple hundred feet at least above them, I would say, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm flying about 200 feet right now, and I actually tried to take my drone off from the tower, but it's the tower is made of metal, and metal and drones don't work out.
Yeah, in case the props hit it or something.
Well, no, it interferes with the GPS. I think it is because
I see.
It good thing the drone tells you this. So these drones are pretty awesome for just even the novice like me. They're pretty easy to use safely.
Great. Yeah, you've been actually working with this drone now for at least 6 months, haven't you?
Yeah, and I got to experience a little bit of the manual flight because I was in a cave system, a cliff system, and I had no GPS for the flight. That's how it's able to stay in a smooth and stable flight. So I had to take it manual, and that's actually nerve-wracking because it will go its own. It will go with the wind. It will fly away. You have to maintain control at all times. So yeah, that was fun.
I'm looking at the tail, and then the tail's wrapping around, and then the different arcs and the coils and the connections. I was looking at some images, and I'll share this here shortly, of the Draco star constellation and the alignments, especially if you go back 5,000 years versus now. They were a little bit different. in their, where they were located in the whole globe, in the whole universe, because obviously stars are constantly moving and planets are constantly moving.
Right.
And you do a pretty good job, like you said, that you had to manually control this. I can definitely see why that would be a little bit stressful. I had a drone for just a short while, and then I sent it back because it was one that was supposed to be able to be controlled with my phone. And one time the phone lost connection when it was still up in the air,
Right.
hovering, and I couldn't reconnect it, and that was not fun. And then I finally did reconnect 5 minutes later when the battery was almost completely dead, and it just landed back. And I said,
Those
no,
drones are okay, but they're Wi-Fi based signal, and you can always have an issue with Wi-Fi. This drone doesn't work by Wi-Fi, so I've never had any issues, and obviously it has its own fail safe. If lost signal, it would just come back home.
Now, how long is the video that you recorded of the effigy?
I've got 6 minutes of video here, so we got a couple more minutes that we can go through. I'm going to go down and actually just keep the camera panned, looking down, and so you get a nice little view of basically what you would look like if you were a bird looking down.
Great.
It's also curious, Rex, sorry not to interrupt, but
no,
this area has also had crop circles. So we know the significance of crop circles. Some say it's complete hoax, but we know there are some pretty elaborate crop circles out there, and there have been some that have popped out over here. And there's also been some other issues in this area as far as odd things that have happened.
Oh, I can imagine. Absolutely. Oh, this is cool. And folks, I was just going to say, go to the Disclosure Media YouTube channel if you haven't already, and subscribe. He has drone footage of several locations thus far, and I'm sure he's going to continue to get more. Plus, he's been doing a really good job keeping up on the Oroville Dam / spillway that's having some serious issues right now close to, is it Sacramento?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, correct. Yeah, it continues out there in Oroville. We continue to watch it.
I'd like to just be, silent for a minute. Maybe I'll add some music to this. I'm not sure.
Sure.
Maybe I'll let it be silent. But if we could just play this out for a few minutes, and much appreciated, Jason. Thank you so much.
Not a problem, Rex. Thank you.
Just think if you could drop water balloons.
Yeah. Give me to play a little bit more of this. Let me back it up.
Yeah, would you back it up and we could do it again? Or that'd be great. Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, let's replay.
Just play it uninterrupted. This is playing, folks. I'm just going to give a couple more excerpts here. In 1070 AD, if 1070 AD is accurate, as the construction year, building the mound could theoretically have been influenced by two astronomical events: the light form from the supernova that created the Crab Nebula in 1054, and the appearance of Halley's Comet in 1066. Now, with that said, the Serpent Mound may have been designed in accordance with the pattern of stars composing the constellation Draco. The star pattern of the constellation Draco fits with fair precision to the Serpent Mound, with the ancient pole star Thuban, A Draconis, at the geographical center within the first of 7 coils from the head. The fact that the body of the Serpent Mound follows the pattern of Draco may support various theories, such as the 1865 Putnam's refurbishment of the earthwork could have been correctly accomplished in that a comparison of Romaines or Fletchers and Cameron's maps from the 1980s show how the margins of the serpent align with great accuracy to a large portion of Draco. And some researchers date the earthwork to about 5,000 years ago based on the position of Draco through the backward motion of precisionary circle of the ecliptic when Thuban was the pole star. So alignment of the effigy to the pole star at that position also shows how true north may have been found. This was not known until 1987 because the lodestone and modern compasses give incorrect readings at that specific site.
It's beautiful.
There's not much around there, is it?
Oh, there isn't. And we were driving, and I'm like, gosh, how long? It took us 2 hours to get there from our current where we were at, and it was a nice drive.
Almost feels like I'm golfing or I'm playing a video game, getting ready to golf.
Yes.
It does, man. He's getting up right now, getting ready.
And what's your thoughts on radiocarbon dating? How accurate do you think that stuff is, Rex?
Well, I've heard that there's a lot of controversy, and I see both sides. And with that said, I think that it can be a good tool sometimes, and I don't know of a better tool specifically. I mean, there's got to be something out there that can be used as a more accurate and precise tool. They've done testing before that they've been able to prove it was accurate and prove that it was wrong. So what are your
basically, they're just looking at the what's breaking down and how long it takes to break down. That's basically how they determine an age of something, right?
From what I understand.
Okay. I don't know. I've seen other people out there that say that's just not an accurate way, and it can be manipulated. And as far as the radioactive, we're constantly getting radio stuff from the sun. I'm getting a little foggy here on my information, but it just doesn't seem like that's an accurate way. But yeah, I'm not a scientist, so these guys have definitely done a lot of work, and I'm just going to have to rely on that for now.
Well, and not only that, even if I think that they said when they went back and did more testing, they found certain parts of the site were older that didn't look like it had been refurbished, essentially. So that would make sense that around that time, the tribes that we were talking about, just kind of updated it, refurbished
around the 1070.
Yeah, the Adena culture.
Yeah.
So
yes, yeah. So it predates them, and that makes sense because, well, the Adena culture. I mean, don't they go all the way back to 1000 BC?
That's according to what we have access to, the records of. Yes, absolutely. And there's another cool article that you can go to, Indian Country Today, Serving the Nations, Celebrating the People is the underlying theme of that specific website for the natives. And it talks about this mound, and it says new data puts Serpent Mounds construction to about 321 BCE. And that's about the same time Aristotle in Greece died, like literally the same approximate time. That time frame, in my opinion, I think it could even predate that by thousands of years.
I mean, if the Adena culture, it goes back to 1000 BC, it's easy. It could be easy just to say this could go back almost that far too, right?
Well, why not 40,000 years? Why not 100,000 years? I mean, we really don't know.
Right.
We really don't. I mean, how about that lion figure that I did a podcast on the other day that they found in the caves of Germany that's estimated to be about 40,000 years old? And then you look at the Sphinx of Egypt, and you look at all these sculptures and carvings of these beings that are humanoid in body but have these animal parts and wings and lion faces and stuff. And yes, there's a lot of symbology to a lot of those. And other ones, I think that there's definitely more than just symbology, especially when you read books out of the Dead Sea Scrolls, like the Book of Giants, that talk about the watchers that come down and mess with the earth women and mess with animals and do all this genetic manipulation and tampering. And you can read about scriptures out of the Nag Hammadi that were heavily suppressed. You can read the Sumerian tablets that aren't translated by Zechariah Sitchin that talk about the same thing, that predate all of that. So there's a lot of possibilities. I personally believe, in my opinion, is there was a lot of that stuff going on before the flood. There was a lot of genetic manipulation. There was, literally godlike beings running around doing their thing, being gods in the eyes of people that were not as complex, not as advanced, because that's what they were told. And plus, we only hear about the information from the victors oftentimes, unless we really do our research. So we're hearing about the storyline that the people that won want us to hear about. And do they have our best interest at heart? Well, look at what's around you, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think that the people that control the world have our best interest at heart?
No. Unfortunately, no.
I'm sorry. They love us. What am I saying? They love us so much.
So, look, I was just looking at some more information about this. Apparently, back in 1973, 3 Adams County deputies and a police officer encountered an unusual object in the sky on Chapel Road in West Union, and later hovering between State Route 41 and 125. The men described the object as having a pulsating red, green, blue, and white lights and claimed it would zigzag in very tight circle throughout the sky. This is, of course, over this area here. So, UFO.
That's pretty cool.
And also about that crop circle, the design consists of several markings. The smaller circles on the sides of the design measure 12 feet in diameter, with the largest bottom circle measuring 16 feet. And the total design measures 300 feet in diameter. It's a pretty interesting crop circle. It's kind of like an eyeball.
Looks like a snake to me. It looks like the serpent. It absolutely does.
Definitely.
And that could be awakening. That could be an enlightenment thing. That could be the Kundalini activation. That could be the representation of the DNA. That could be the representation of the Draco constellation. And if that's in representation of the Draco constellation, why? What did they see out there to make them want to build that? What influenced them that was so important that they would take that much time and effort and create something so precise and accurate still to this day that we have an opportunity to look at like we are right now? Man, I wish that you would have been able to go with me out to Colorado, because not only would it have been a lot of fun, on top of that, we could have had this drone and we could have taken this right directly over the Archuleta Mesa. I was right there, and this could have flown there and back without any problems.
Yeah, I'd love that. That'd have been nice.
Next
time for sure. We've got our trip set up. We just gotta get it done.
Are you guys coming out to South Dakota for the X Fest?
When is that?
That's like this month, May 19th to the 21st. It's going to be great. We're half an hour away from the Black Hills. We're about an hour away from the Badlands. We're about an hour and a half away from Devil's Tower. We're close to Sturgis, Deadwood, Lead, Keystone. You name. I mean, what else is out?
It sounds like a good time, but I would definitely not be able to make it this year. But I'm going to.
You just got back from vacation.
Just got back, and now I just got landed this position in this TV pilot that's going to be taking shape here in June. So I just signed all the documents for that. It's a little different, Rex, when you get into the film business, I guess. There's all kinds of agreements you have to sign. And
yeah, how'd that happen? Good for you, by the way. Give us a quick plug.
Well, gosh, now I'd have to go look it up here real quick. But, a friend that from a forum that we used to venture on, still communicate with him, and he's moved on and done this, and he basically put my name out there, and so I'm trying to look it up here real quick. Where we at?
Shapeshifter reptilian overlords must not assimilate into the hive mind.
So it is It's going to be called the where'd it go? It's the Raiden Valkyrie television TV pilot, I guess. I'm trying to look for the complete name. Anyway, the first episode is going to demonstrate the tone and nature of the serious and gritty, edgy, dark fantasy, sword and sorcery. So if you want to find out, because I'm not the best person, I guess, when it comes to PR here, but it's raidenvalkyrie.com if you want to find anything out. You will not see me on screen. I'm going to be behind the screens. Who knows what I'll be doing, but I'm going to be a camera PA. I'm going to be a B-roll drone operator. So it's definitely different. I had to sign my name and likeness away for the show. So that's different. You know, I never had to sign my name and likeness away, but that's Hollywood.
What does that mean, your likeness? So people can't like you anymore?
Oh no, I'm unlikable now. Basically, I guess if they use me, basically it allows them, I guess, to put my name in credits. I guess that's one way. They have to have your permission to do that. I don't know.
That's awesome.
I had to sign like 4 agreements. You know, of course, I had to sign. Maybe I'm not even supposed to be talking about this. I did sign an NDA, but I don't think this is confidential. You know, I signed some agreements. That's pretty standard. You know.
Yeah, I think you're okay. It sounds. I mean, it's just good. You're just giving them good PR right now. Just a quick.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a good time. We start filming in June, so I don't have any idea when it will actually be ready for people to see. But we start filming in June. We're going to be filming for 2 weeks in the Kentucky area. I know all the information is out there. So we'll be in the Kentucky area in June doing some filming. So a new adventure for myself.
Kentucky's a neat area. I've spent some time in Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, and I wasn't a big fan of Ohio, but that's because I was in the Cincinnati area for a while. Not really big, nice people. I just growing up in the mountains and stuff like that, and then going out to Cincinnati, it was
Lord,
it was a big switch.
I bet, for sure.
So, but thanks again, Jason. This has been much appreciated. I'm glad you came on the show. We'll do this again soon. Ladies and gentlemen, check out the Disclosure Media YouTube channel. I will leave a link specifically in the video description box. You'll get access to Jason's podcast and updates. Wish you the very best with your future endeavors, Jason. And this has been great, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Rex. Have a great day.
You too. And folks, also check out leakproject.com. We have some exclusive content on leakproject.com. If you become a premium member, you'll get access to exclusive content, and your contributions greatly support our program. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us. Question everything. If you've got some good footage or a story, send us an email, guestbookings@leakproject.com. Be the change you want to see.
In effigy we have here.
It is, and I'm going to let you just play this for a minute. What I'll do is just give another description. It is approximately 1,348 feet in length, or 411 meters. It has a 3-foot-high prehistoric effigy mound on a plateau of the Serpent Mound crater, and it's along the Ohio Brush Creek in Adams County, Ohio. It's maintained within a park by the Ohio History Connection. And researchers have attributed construction of the mound to 3 different prehistoric indigenous cultures. So, like I said, it was originally thought to be the Adena culture, yet the research that's been done has pointed to the possibility of they were actually the ones that rebuilt it and restored it, and it was put together far before that. As a matter of fact, let me just give you a quick description here. So, the astronomical significance in Hey everybody, this is Rex Bear with Leak Project. What you are looking at is the Serpent Mound in Ohio. This is absolutely incredible. At first, this was thought to be just a few thousand years old, dating to the Adena culture. It's a Native American culture that dates back about 1000 BC to 1 AD approximately. And new revelations and discoveries point to this could be as old or older than Aristotle. I mean, we're talking 5,000 plus years old. And if you go back to that point, approximately 5,000 years ago, you'll see that this lines up quite well with the Draco star constellation. We're very fortunate to have Jason with us from Disclosure Media, and he has a really cool YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed already, check out the Disclosure Media YouTube channel. In 1987, Clark and Marjorie Hardman published their finding that the oval to head area of the serpent is aligned to the summer solstice sunset, and William Romaine has suggested an array of lunar alignments based on the curves in the effigy's body. Fletcher and Cameron argued convincingly for the Serpent Mounds coils being aligned to the 2 solstice and 2 equinox events each year. If the Serpent Mound were designed to site both solar and lunar arrays, it would be significant as the consolidation of astronomical knowledge into a single symbol. So this is fascinating. And also, if you can see here, that almost it looks like a head, almost like literally it's not a circle, but it's circular.
It's oval.
Yeah, it's oval. This is high definition 4K quality drone footage exclusive that Jason got for us out there in the Serpent Mounds. So nothing short of extraordinary. Jason, how are you doing?
Hey, Rex, how's it going? Thanks for having me back on the program.
Absolutely. Thanks for getting this footage for us. What talk us through this?
Well, you had mentioned the Serpent Mound to me. I live in the Ohio area, so I've heard about it for years, but I never got a chance to actually go out and visit the place. And you said, hey, go out there and check that place out if you ever get a chance. And I just happened to be coming right through that area this last week, so I went ahead and stopped and took the drone out and got some pretty awesome footage here. Pretty novice here on the information of the Serpent Mound, so I know you've done a lot more research than I've got to do just yet. And it's from what I've read so far, it's very interesting.
So,
and it's hollow in the center. It's got that occasion in the middle there, and some say it's an egg, some say it's a frog. So there's a lot of skepticism of what it actually really is. And another curious factor about this area, right where that snake is pointing at the head, is right at the lip of a crater, a 4-mile wide crater. Now, you've confirmed that they now say it was from a meteor, but there were some other scientists, maybe this was in earlier days, that thought maybe something underneath the earth, maybe a volcano or something from underneath actually caused the crater. But you said now that maybe it was a meteor.
Well, let me read this to you real quick. And the mound is located on the site of a clastic astrobulum, an ancient meteor